from Homestead Engraving, Business and Life. Today I have some laundry to fold and I'm going to go ahead and do that while I talk to you about becoming a work from home mom by selling on Etsy. Some of you may know that my husband, Matt, and I both work from home and we have 4 kids. The main source of our income is from the website Etsy, and we've been supporting our family mainly from Etsy for over 1.5 years. It's almost 2 years. We're just coming up on the 2-year mark. So we definitely have lots to say about how to be able to stay home with your kids when that's your main goal. For us, that's become our goal, that no matter what we do, we'll be home with our kids. So, getting started on Etsy, it's intimidating, right? Starting anything new is intimidating, it's scary, and there's a lot of behind the scenes you don't see when you hear the success stories. I can tell you, my husband and I work from home, but you don't hear all the failure behind it, right? So I want to be real with you and tell you there's a lot of failure. There's a lot of things we did before we succeeded. There's a lot of things that built up to that point. And starting Etsy was just one of many things we tried before we realized here's what we're gonna do. We started Etsy not because we wanted to stay at home, but because we needed a little more income to make ends meet, and that seemed like a route we could go. If I were starting Etsy now, knowing what I know, I would pick something I either am really good at, I'm really passionate about, or something I want to know more about, know more how to do. So if people are always like commenting to you like, oh, you make the greatest desserts, you can sell those on Etsy. Like, there's a market for all these different things. If you make great cookies, you can sell them on Etsy. If somebody's commenting on your party decor that you make for your kids' birthday parties, and you hand draw all these photos or pictures and things, and that is something you can sell on Etsy. You can sell packs of party supplies. There are so many different things you can do. Are you good with computers? Is there something digital you can make for people? Can you fill a need for something? And that's another thing. Is there a need to be filled? Are you so frustrated you can't find this one thing? Why isn't there something that does that? Make it, create it, and make something that does it and try selling it. If you have a need for it, someone else probably has a need for it too. Now, that all being said, you may be really passionate about one thing and you might start creating it and you might not sell anything. And that can be sad, right? That can hurt, especially when you put your heart and soul into it, when you're so excited about it, when you have this big motivation of being able to stay home with your kiddos behind it. That can be intimidating. So there's some great tips and tricks to get started on Etsy. And if you think this is going to be a click and boom, I'm staying at home, it's not. It's not. We have been on the Etsy website for 4 years, just over 4 years. And I started staying home about 2 years after we started our Etsy website. Now, you can click off this video, that's not fast enough for you. What I'm gonna tell you is those 2 years were hard. They were really hard. There was a learning curve, and there was a stubbornness my husband and I had. We weren't gonna fail, even though it took 2 years to get me to the point where I was staying at home. We were not gonna fail. We were gonna make this work. And to make it work, we had to learn. We had to learn how to do new things. First, we had to come up with a product. We came up with some products. Some were huge failures. Some were okay, and some were great. And that was a learning curve too. What I thought was going to be a huge need wasn't. It didn't really sell all that great. And our products turned different turns that we didn't expect. Once we had products that were selling, we also had to keep them selling. And a lot of that is how you go about listing your items. Did you research what your competitor sells? Do they sell the exact same thing for half the price that you can sell it for? Why can they sell it for half the price? Do they buy their supplies from somewhere more affordable? Do they buy their supplies more in bulk? There's so many different ways to cut your costs if you want a competitive cost with your competitors. There's also reason to have your stuff priced higher than theirs. Are they offering an inferior product? If they are, you can charge more. That's just the way it is. And those kind of things, there's just so much to learn. And you have to be okay learning. If you have a question, you need to look up what your question is. If you don't have a question, then you're not doing enough. When you're listing your items, your title, I think you can put like 125 characters in that section. That section needs to be full, and it needs to be full of relevant things. You need to search what your competitors are using. If they call this item a shirt and you thought it should be called a blouse, but no one's calling it a blouse, guess what? You're wrong, and you need to start calling it a shirt. And there are so many things like that with Etsy. I think one of our items we sold, we do personalized laser engraved gifts is our main focus. And we were selling what I thought were called rocks glasses. Now, what I learned is most people had no idea what rocks glasses were, and it took me researching why we could not sell these rocks glasses, and it turns out people call them whiskey glasses. I didn't know, so it took research to learn these terms that people use and to use the terms they're searching for. And so we switched, and I think currently now I actually have 2 listings, one that's still titled rocks glasses and one titled whiskey glasses. Guess which one we sell? You know, it's that whiskey glass one, that one that had the search term that everyone was using that I had left off. And note to self, whiskey can be spelled differently depending on where you live, so you have to keep that in mind too. People word things differently. If people are in another country and they're purchasing your items, you need to look up how they spell words, how things are said differently, because sometimes it's the simplest little thing that you spelled a word differently. Another thing to think about when you're listing your items is, what is Etsy doing? Etsy is always changing, and they're trying so hard to make it a great place to be for buyers and for sellers. They want us all here. If there weren't sellers, there wouldn't be buyers. So they need all of us, and their changes are to help all of us work together. So a big thing we need to be doing is paying attention to their changes. A while back, they had done a contest for sellers, and the contest was, if you offered free shipping, every item you sold during the Christmas season with free shipping would be entered into this contest for a chance to win, I think it was an exorbitant amount of money. And they told us, we weren't listening. They told us, hey, free shipping, we're putting value on that. And they do. They put value on free shipping. The way our world is now, everybody wants free shipping. They want it now, and they want it free. And you can't ship free. You can't. There is no method of shipping that is free. So someone has to pay for that. And we have to figure out what that means. Currently in our shop, we cannot afford to ship everything for free. We would lose money if we did that. So we have made some accommodations to value what Etsy values. They will give you priority currently of your listing if you ship your items for free, or if you ship orders of $35 or more for free. So we choose the latter option. We will ship orders of $35 or more free because they have told us they put value on that. We tried the free shipping. It was so hard to get the prices right. And you have to try or you'll never figure any of it out. And so currently we're kind of at that $35 mark. Like, we probably should figure out how to get to the free shipping, but we haven't yet. But we know that's what Etsy values. That's where they're going to go to. So right now we're offering that free shipping of $35 or more. It means some serious thinking. If I can't ship an item for free, it can't be $35. I do have items in my shop that are $34.95, and I do have customers who are like, really? You couldn't just bump that up? But the truth is, if I bumped up the price, I'd have to include the $8 shipping fee, and the price would instead be much higher than what they're currently looking at. A lot of times, it's kind of a game, right? You have to have the right terms, you have to have the right shipping options, you have to have the right price. Your price has to make you money. If it doesn't make you money, you will never be using it to be your main source of income. And you have to be okay working hard. A lot of times, my husband and I, we worked a lot of hours, and the kids would go to bed at night, and we would work on our Etsy shop. We would get things perfected. Our photos, they have to be good. If you want to sell what you have to have good photos. Our first photo, we hung up a white t-shirt and put our item in front of it and took a picture and expected that to look good. It did not look good. And we had to learn how to do things affordably. We learned that a white piece of paper is flat and looks good and doesn't cost virtually any money. We had to learn about lighting. We had to learn about using what we had to affordably find a way to make our Etsy listings stand out. You have to word things correctly. You have to just have that customer service mentality. When someone asks you a question on Etsy, I suggest connecting it to your cell phone. In this day and age, most of us have our cell phone with us, and when our message goes straight to our cell phone, even if it's not the perfect time, you can read their message. If their message is something as simple as, "Hi, how do I place my order?" you should be able to answer them, because if you answer them right back, they're sitting there waiting to order, and they're going to. If instead you wait till you get to your computer 2 days later and you sit down to answer them, they've already bought from somebody else. They're already off their computer. They're off their phone. They're not doing this anymore. Chances are you did not get that sale, and you will not. Customer service is huge. You need to speak to your customers how you want to be spoken to. I always kind of use that like sandwich mentality, like, thank you. Thank you for contacting us about this item. Then I answer their question. Currently, we're out of the lavender color. However, we will be getting more in 2 weeks. Would you like to be put on our wait list? Make them feel that they are special, because they are. They're your sale. They are the reason you're going to be making money, and you're going to be staying at home, working from home, being around your kiddos. Along with that, that kind of customer service aspect, there is something to be said about how you ship your items. And I once received a package from an Etsy seller. It was in a box, an Amazon box, but I didn't recognize it as being an Amazon box because it was one of those, like it had all these characters over it, like from movies and stuff, and the seller had taped this box shut with like duct tape and just all this stuff. And when I got the box, you guys, I thought like, this is like a bomb. I don't know what this is. I was terrified to open this box. And when I opened it, it was this like cute, beautiful thing I had bought off Etsy. And I was like, why did they package it in this awful box with duct tape? Look into shipping through USPS. That's your post office in the United States, USPS. You can go right on their website. You can select shipping supplies. You can select free shipping supplies, and they will ship free boxes to your home, free envelopes to your home, so that you can package your things and they can look nicely. There's no added cost involved with that. I'm all about reusing, and if you can reuse and it looks nice, go for it. I get it. I do actually recycle a lot of our packaging materials, but there's something to be said about what that box looks like when it comes. It doesn't have to be your brand across the box for someone to be like, oh, okay, here's my item, I'm gonna open it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it does have to give the appearance that you care. It does have to give the appearance that you are a business, and it does have to make people want to come back. You should constantly be hearing, thank you, this was great, this was above my expectations. And that's another thing. You want to sell on Etsy, make their expectations blown away. Our current processing time is 3 to 6 business days. And there are times at Christmas where 6 business days is kind of the norm. And unfortunately, that's just the best we can do for working around the clock. That's a story for another day. But if you have a 3 to 5 day processing timeline and you are able to ship someone's order the day after they order, they're going to be shocked. They're not expecting you to ship this for almost a week. And there you are shipping it the next day. And then on top of it, they're getting it before they even expected you to ship it. Now it's packaged nice and they're just gonna love it. And if you include something in your box that they can get back to you, you're gonna hear stuff. You're gonna start getting reviews, 5-star reviews, photograph reviews, just basically oohing and eyeing over your stuff. And more often than not, if your stuff is good and you have amazing customer service, this is all gonna bump you up on Etsy. It's awesome, you guys. There's endless possibilities of where you could go. And I really think you can do it. If you have any specific questions, I'd love to answer them. You can leave them down below, or if you think there's something we need to go more in depth on how to become that stay-at-home, working from home mom that you want to be by selling on Etsy, let me know. I want to help. I really think anyone can do it. So thanks for folding clothes with me. I wish I was done, but I'm not. So I'll keep folding and I'll see you guys later. Glad you got to see me again.